going on, guys? August here from Quarter Cows, and today I'm sitting here with Mike. Hey. And this is the first ever episode of The Wizard of Og. That name's got to change one of these days. It probably won't because I'm not that creative, but we're going to go with it for now. Anyways, we're talking video games today, more specifically games that just haven't aged well, but were popular back in the day. So let's get to it. All right, so I thought of this idea, kind of when I was testing out our streaming equipment, right? You know, I popped in certain games, from the Nintendo 64, Super Nintendo, NES era kind of thing, and a lot of those games are still really good today. Like, they held up really well, but there are just certain games, like, I remember as a kid, like, oh man, this game is my jam. The first game I put in, and this happened to me, GoldenEye.
Yep, that was when you were like, let's do a video of games that did not age well. It was like, what do you know that comes to mind? And it was like, I really can't think of anything. And then it just hit me, just like a nostalgic Mack truck just came by and slapped me right in the face. It was like GoldenEye on the 64.
Yeah, you just look at those graphics and they're just ugly. Like, the art design just did not hold up well, and understandably that's part of the limitation of the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
But you look at a game like Super Mario 64 or even Ocarina of Time, and those games, obviously don't look as good as you remember as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
But they still look fine. They're not like these weird demented faces. But really the problem with it is mostly the N64 controller. Like, I know it revolutionized like first-person shooters on console, but like that controller is not user-friendly, especially for first-person shooters.
It is not. That's and it kind of brought me back to it with GoldenEye, of being that 9-year-old little boy playing with my cousin, just hours on end, not having a problem with it at all. And then going over to a buddy's house, and he bought a Sega, a Super Nintendo, and a 64 for nostalgia purposes. And it was like, all right, here's some GoldenEye, let's do it. And that was a nightmare. That was just a pure nightmare of what I remembered as a kid, of being able to run around throwing proximity bombs everywhere in every nook and cranny, and getting the golden gun, and just spending entire weekends with that game and playing it for 30 minutes, going like, nope, I'm done. I'm good. This. We'll call this good. We're done. Let's move on to the next game.
No, it's just so frustrating to control it now, especially with how smooth and like how perfectly made controllers are for first-person shooters. Like Halo compared to GoldenEye, it's just it's night and day, like control-wise. It's crazy. And this is for all first-person shooters, really, on the Nintendo 64.
Oh yeah.
So. Anyways, moving on.
Still have to give them props though. That multiplayer was like an afterthought and everything like that. And when they were developing GoldenEye, it was just kind of like, we have a week to do this. All right, let's do it. Boom. All right, there we go. And then we had a multiplayer. Like, had they not decided, let's throw that in there, we wouldn't be able to look back on this 10 years from now and go, oh boy, this game is shit now.
Well, yeah, because you gotta think that really made first-person shooters on consoles, everything has to have multiplayer if you're a first-person shooter, or it gets, its sales suffer,
Yeah.
So, enough, digging on GoldenEye. Let's go to another N64 classic, and Smash Bros. Have you played that in a while?
You told me, and at first I was like, no, but it was on that list of games that I played with my buddy, that it was like, I've kept up with Smash. I've played it on the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, and soon to be the Switch and everything like that, where he's played it on every console, but it's because he's come over to play it, so he's always coming in my backyard. So it was like, heh, I can smash you on the Wii U version, let's do it, I'll school you back on the old school 64, like the first appearance, and it was a nightmare. It was a mess of controls, and it was just like, but as a kid, no, this was easy. This was fun. Why does this control garbage now?
I know what you mean. As a kid, and this is a big part of my church history, is I went to church, and I went to my friend's church who had the best video games, and at the time, one of my friends went to this big, we called it Six Flags Over Jesus. Anyways, they had multiple, N64 stations, and they had a couple of Tony Hawk ones, which was popular, and then one that got a line every single day. Youth group was, and that was Smash Bros. And thinking back in the day, this game's so freaking smooth. Like, this is the best fighting game I ever played. Play it, last year with some of my friends from college, and holy crap, that game just sucks now. Like, it's so stiff, and like, the floating mechanics.
Yeah,
and
the way the floating and then jumping was really probably the biggest gap of what made it age terribly. And then some of the smash attacks just didn't feel like it was actually like being able to charge a smash attack up now to where it's just one and not even like, sometimes, I don't know, and some of the controls, I guess it could be just the controller not registering it, but it didn't feel like it registered every smash attack like it does.
Yeah, it's much harder to pull them off, I feel like, and things just don't seem to connect right,
Yeah.
It just feels off, Other than that, graphically it's alright, but look at what they did with Melee and how much they improved on it.
Yeah.
That's still being played competitively. It's the biggest, in terms of Smash, it's still the biggest game to play.
Yeah.
So, anyways, this obviously N64 games, some of their games just didn't age well, but let's kill one that I know is going to kill Cody. And man, everybody loves this game for some reason. I just don't understand it.
I'm with you there. When I didn't play it when it was new, but it was still newer. I just never got into it. Like, whenever it was in the battle sequence, I thought it was pretty cool, but everything outside of the battle sequence stuff just didn't do it for me. And trying to get back into it now with all the HD remakes on PC, it never did anything for me. So this game will always just continue to go down the hill for aging.
And this game is Final Fantasy VII, of course. So, just everybody brags about how good this story is and just how innovative the combat and all that is. I just don't know. To me, it's just not that great. And graphically, it's ugly. It's, people say Nintendo 64 had bad graphics. This is terrible. I mean, I know it revolutionized full motion video and all this jazz. Just overall,
but they were blocks. That's all it was. It was block.
It's a blocky mess. It's hard to see what you're doing. And to me, compared to some of the other I like me a good turn-based RPG, but this one to me is just
I do too, but
kind of boring.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can grind all day. I can grind characters all day, but for some reason, this game just never did anything for me.
I'm glad we're on the same level here, because I know the entire internet right now is punching us through their computer screen, but Final Fantasy VII never was a big thing for me. The one that did it for me was 9. 9 was fun for me, but everyone says 7's the best one, and it just, for me, is not the same.
Well, let's take a little chop at our childhood.
Yep,
I know you're a Pokemon fan.
This is our big thing that we both we got the group into. So
yeah. No, and you're a big Pokemon fan. I'm a big Pokemon fan. You've been playing since the beginning, I assume.
Mm-hmm.
So in the game we're talking Gen 1 of Pokemon, Red, Blue, and Yellow. Boy, you compare them to the quality of life improvements, and even up to Gen 3, just being able to run, to be able to map things, map items easier, just everything about that game, just hasn't aged well. The game 1 is a buggy mess. Go back and
when they released it on the eShop 2 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just full of excitement. They released the Blastoise and Charizard new 3DS model with the interchangeable faceplates, and here I go. My buddy's I'm buying them all. I'm all right, I'm right there with you. We'll do the trading. This is going to be awesome. And I loaded it up, and I was just nope. I was all right, here's a Bulbasaur for you. Here's a Charmander. I'm done. I can't play through it. And Yellow's a little bit better because it was that generational step before they went to next gen, like Crystal was with Gold and Silver and stuff. So it's a little bit better, but it's still just
It's slow.
It's too slow.
It just movement slow, battle slow, like the text is slow. Even when you do put like the fast text on, it's and then just like trying to rearrange your items and getting your bike out, having to pause, open up the menu, switch your bike.
Three sprite sheets for 3 sprite characters for like bug, beast, and bird or fish. Like,
and from my understanding, a lot of the stats didn't work. So
yep.
It was just sort of it was. Obviously it made me a Pokemon fan, but it is hard to play nowadays. Anyways, that's pretty much all we got. Trying to think of, it's kind of hard to trash on some of the games from your childhood, but sometimes it feels good. Let us know what you thought. How wrong are we on Final Fantasy VII? I imagine
we are absolutely spot on with that. There's nothing to be wrong there.
Oh, I imagine
we are right. They're wrong.
Cody is over there already smashing the dislike button on the thing. Anyways, if you like this video, give us a like. Tell us what games you think are overrated, haven't aged very well. Let us know if we're wrong on any of these games. Tell us why. Obviously, check out some of our other videos on the YouTube page. Obviously subscribe so you get all those notifications as new ones pop up. And anyways, I've been Og. I'm always Og. Not I have been Og, but this has been the Wizard of Og. And, I want to thank Mike here for joining me today.
It's been fun.
Later.